One, two, one, two. All right, let's roll.
Welcome.
You're listening to the Saddle Up Podcast,
Where we discuss everything related to UTRGV athletics, past or present. We'll catch up with old teammates, friends, and take you down memory lane.
with exclusive interviews.
This is the Saddle Up Podcast.
The voice of your covered walkway streets. So dope.
This is gonna be awesome.
Stay tuned for new episodes every week.
From Bronx Village to the Fieldhouse, we'll cover it all.
Hell yeah, dude. Carpe diem.
So saddle up and let's go.
Saddle up, partner.
Today we got a great guest, but before I introduce the guest, G,
Yeah,
what's
'cause
up, G?
Yeah, thank you so much for remembering me, man. But this is the only time that I would have been okay with you skipping me and going straight to introducing our awesome guest today that we've been talking about for months already.
For
But
months.
she is extremely busy because she has got a very important thing that she's doing, and that means prepping for this show. She's been prepping for months for this show. So I appreciate you, Michelle, being on.
Michelle, welcome to the show, Michelle.
Thank you.
Oh my,
I feel honored. I feel like I'm actually somebody.
oh
You
my
are
gosh. What are you
more than
talking about?
somebody. More than somebody. You make us feel like we're somebody.
Hey,
Yes. You
we
always
are.
made me feel like that. Ever since I
Mhm.
met you that first day, like you have this
Well-
warming presence, this aura to you. And like,
Well, let's talk about Michelle. Let's talk about what she did and who she is, because she, I know she made you feel warm, Matt, but we got to know Michelle's background. Enough about you.
Ooh, what do you want to know?
All right.
Open book.
So, Michelle, what was your role? What did you do at Pan American? Why are you so beloved on this planet?
I really, I think it's because I just treated people like I want to be treated. I'm a Southern girl, Mississippi, and we love everybody. It's like hugs, kisses, and everybody's good.
That
No
is
doubt.
awesome. Yeah,
No
that is
doubt.
awesome. So Michelle played on the women's basketball team, UTPA. What years, Michelle, were you there?
Ooh, I started in 94, fall of 94.
That's right.
Yeah.
94.
I
You
feel
were
like
a
I'm-
year.
That's a long time ago.
Not
Almost-
too long, Michelle. Not too long.
almost 30
Just a-
years ago.
Oh, thanks.
Oh,
I'm glad your math is mathing today.
Matthew is mathing today.
So were
Thank
you recruited? So you came from Mississippi. So were you recruited out of high school to come to Pan Am, or
Yep.
did you go the JUCO route, or how did you
Nope,
land in Edinburgh?
I came straight from high school into Pan Am. I was recruited by Tracy Gardner. She at the time I had a big game, and as soon as yesterday, right now, and I had a really, really big game, and my name was all over the paper in Mississippi. So it kind of just flowed like that, right? And I get this call from her, and she's like, "Hey, Michelle, she's country accent," and I'm like, "Yes, ma'am," and she's like, "Look, I'm looking for a center, and you fit the profile." And I was like, "Okay, well," and I'm looking like, where is Pan Am? Like, where is McAllen? And I get the map, of course, and I look at it. I'm like, well, it doesn't look that far from Mississippi. 12 hours
Yeah.
drive later.
Yeah.
Can't get anywhere south. So the
Man.
rest is history. I told her, yeah, I would come. And then I found out that she wasn't going to be the coach. And she was like, look, are you still willing to come? And I said, yeah. She offered me a full ride. And I wanted to play for Louisiana Tech, which, was in our conference.
Which
And,
was huge at the time. La Tech was winning championships left and right, right?
So
Yeah.
Coach Barmore was the coach there at the time. And I had went to his camps every summer in high school. So he said, I'll pick you up, but you have to go to a JUCO first and then come over. And my parents were like, yeah, no, if you get hurt, schools don't really want to pick you up for a D1 school. So
Yeah.
I was like, if I can't play for you, Coach Barmore, I'm going to play against you. And I always had my biggest games against him.
Oh man. Look, wait, first of all, Michelle, her sweetness comes out, right? All the time. But man, that's a little competitive right there, Michelle. I was like, I'm gonna get you, coach.
I'm get you. I always had block shots was my key there. I was like, oh, Coach
Yeah.
Barber, Louisiana Tech. And they always sent their second string down to play us, right? They never sent the first string.
I heard.
you know.
Yeah. I heard.
What? Wow.
And I also I do believe that you still hold the record for most block shots by in the women's record, right? Most block shots in a game.
If I don't hold the record, I'm tied now, but I believe I still hold the record, or either it's tied. But one of the things I like to pride myself on when I see kids now, I'm like, hey, I was 17th in the nation at one time.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool.
You had game, Michelle. Like what you had game. You had game, and I loved going to those games. Like it was seeing the Von Indies and sitting next to them, and we'll get into Von Indies later. But just they're still a staple at the volleyball and the women's games. They're always there.
Oh yeah, they're I call them my mom and dad. You know, we've been they took me in. Every time I go down to the valley, I go see them. I call.
Oh, you still go down there?
Yeah. I go down at least once a year. I still have a home.
I still live here.
So
I still live here, Michelle. You know that, right? I live in the valley.
I love the valley. I always say yo soy mexicana, right? Because that's the life that the life in Mississippi. I said that's the life my family gave me, but the life in the valley was the life I gave myself, right?
Yeah.
The friends I got, the people I met outside of there. It's just beautiful. My best friend lives down there. So it's just,
it's all landed you here on the Saddle Up podcast.
It's all prepared you for this.
Yes, it did.
This is it, Michelle. Just like John Amore said, I don't know if you watched that episode or not, but his entire life he's been preparing. And his entire goal was to be on this show. None of the honors, none of the trophies, none of the championships.
Never won a PGA. He was like, I made it to this show. I'm done. I'm out.
And I'm wondering what took you so long to get me on here.
Well, you travel a lot. I mean, you're everywhere.
Yeah.
So I see you on Facebook. I was just like, okay, I haven't seen her post out of the country lately. So I guess she's in the States. Let me call her. So
Yeah. I've traveled to over 45 countries now. So I'm still.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
That is awesome, Michelle.
What is your favorite country to be in?
Oh, I would say Thailand. Thailand's probably my favorite country. Yeah.
But why? Give us a couple of reasons.
The culture, the food, the people. I can go down there. Matt and I are probably the shortest ones on this call right now, so we can go get clothes made to fit us.
Well, how tall are you, Michelle? For the listeners out there,
6'3".
How tall are you?
6'3", no heels.
6'3", no heels. Oh my goodness.
Nice.
No wonder. Block shots, all that good stuff.
Thailand
But you
sounds
could
kind
never
of like
block
the
one.
Valley.
Yeah.
You know what? It gives you that feel. Yeah.
Mhm.
And it's inexpensive down there.
It's the Valley.
Yeah.
Well, it's changing a little bit, Matt. We're trying to live up to San Diego standards.
Oh
man.
my gosh. I just read an
no.
article. San Diego is the most expensive city to live in the US.
I've been trying to tell
Number
you.
one.
Get back down to Texas.
You need to text Tessa and tell her, hey, get out. Get out. Get out. So
Michelle, where are you at now? Where do you live
I'm in
now?
Washington, D.C.
Okay, oh wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
do you
So-
go to
so
do you
during-
ever venture into the museums and stuff, or is that kind of like whatever? You've done that
No,
before.
so you know what? There's always something to do up here. They call it the DMV, which is the District, Maryland, and Virginia, right?
Mhm.
And I mean, I go to the museum sometimes. I haven't been this year, but definitely the museums you never see the same thing. It's definitely a thing to see here. What you have to fight against is the tourists. That's a little bit like
Yeah, I'm sure there's no season, like there's always tourists, right? It's never like a slow season.
unless you come in the winter time.
Okay.
Is it
Well-
because they just can't get in and out? Like,
No,
because
you
of the
can get it. We
weather,
don't
or-
really have the city shuts down when it snows, right? And it doesn't snow that often here, and that's coming from me, who's like, I don't do snow,
You
right?
heard it here first, people.
no wonder. Yep, that's right. That's why she chose.
Want to visit the
UTPA.
DMV? Go in the winter when it never snows, but people think it snows. So there you go.
That's, what she,
That's
that's
the
why
key.
she chose the valley. She chose the valley to play.
I love the valley. I'm going to be a winter Texan because let me tell you, your needs are not the same anymore as you get older.
Speak for yourselves, guys.
G's doing CrossFit. Like he's he's killing it
Yeah.
in competitions. Like G's
That's
Yeah,
why he looks 18.
yeah, look
Yeah,
at him.
and you don't see me off the CrossFit social media thing icing my knees for 2 hours before bed, jumping in ice baths, taking ibuprofen, going to the chiropractor, going to the massage therapy. Oh my goodness, it's crazy. But enough about me, Matt. Michelle,
What's
I
up?
asked you a question off camera a little bit
Oh.
ago, and I need listeners to know. Who was your favorite men's basketball player when you played there at UTPA?
Well, it would have to be between you and Matt. I'm just not sure which one. Just
Oh, wow.
you guys.
Man, okay.
G had
I
5
would-
steals his whole career and
We
13
didn't
points against Monterey Tech.
I can still be one of the favorites, Matt. I don't have to
for
like
sure.
I don't have to build stats, to
G-
be
He was
the people's
GQ,
favorite.
and
G
he's
was
always-
GQ. I have
G
a
was
picture of
GQ.
G in my phone right now and I'll share that on Facebook. I shared it with him last week. But G was GQ, and G is probably my favorite basketball player.
And Matt was mine.
Yeah.
Matt was mine.
See, so we're all on the same page.
Yeah.
That's
all on the
right.
same
That's
page.
right,
Matters.
Michelle.
Yeah.
So who is your favorite teammate?
Oh, now that's hard. That's really hard because how about who's my favorite roommate? And that's still hard
Oh,
too. But Mike Thompson and I, we were roommates. So
Mikey T.
I
Mike
enjoyed
Thompson.
having him as a roommate. And we always had this like, you mind your business and I'll mind mine. So whatever you do is your business. It's pretty cool.
Wow.
Y'all lived at the
But-
Palms. I remember that. That was my
Yeah, the Palms.
my
yeah.
sophomore year. Because you
Mhm.
were roommates with Buffy my freshman year.
In the dorms. That's
In the
correct.
dorms. Yeah.
And you had that big white truck, double did you have a white truck?
No,
Oh,
I
that
had a
was
little
nice.
blue Saturn.
Something you had, but you were so tall to be in that car.
Yeah, I had a little blue Saturn.
Way too
Yeah.
he was way too tall to be in that.
And G had a like a Jeep with one headlight.
With one headlight. The that red Jeep was actually handed down after I went through like 2 cars that broke down during my college career. Yeah, I think I showed up with like a Bronco or so, I don't know what it was, but it broke down. Then I had a Camry, it broke down. Then I ended up with the red Jeep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. But we all have those stories, man, where we just, we were trying to survive,
That's it.
our
That's
favorite
it.
memories, are not those that came easy to us, right? It was like those struggles that we were going through in college.
Yeah.
Those are our favorite memories. So speaking of memories,
And
Michelle,
struggle.
you got to then struggle. Take us back to, what was your favorite memory, or what was your like struggle that was a blessing, I think, from you at UTPA?
Struggle that was a blessing.
Mm-hmm.
Going there in a general, because I went from playing on a winning team in high school,
Yeah.
and playing on a team that we were great, but we're playing against people who were ended up in the Final Four. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that struggle, perseverance is the best word I can use to describe that, because
Yeah.
that made me, you think about what we had to do to continue to get up the next day
Yeah.
and go back out there knowing,
Stay
hey,
sane. Yeah.
yeah, you got to play Western Kentucky in a tournament, or we're going up to Arkansas. And you're like, what? Louisiana, that's who you're starting off with.
Did they
And-
play the second team when y'all went up to Ruston, or did y'all have to play the first team up there?
So they would put the first team in to like get the score up, and then it would be like, hey, they wouldn't even, it would be like practice for us, for them. And it was a real
them,
game
yeah.
for us, you know what I mean? But they just, they had the money, they recruited the top players.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess
What's
that
the
would be
game?
my best, the hardest lesson learned and the best lesson learned was I learned perseverance during that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Shaped you who you are, made you who you are right now.
Absolutely.
I would agree. I think you're not alone in that. Like it shaped, we weren't, as a program, we didn't win a lot of games either, right? And so we kind of dealt with the same struggles that you guys were facing as well. And I think that's why the men's and the women's team were so connected, because they could relate to each other,
Right.
And I haven't heard that in other schools, but how close they are. But I know that the boys team and the girls basketball team, we were very close.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we really.
You
I'm
probably
sorry.
heard this. Speaking of the struggles, right? Like you probably heard this on a earlier episode. But G and I would go. We had a hookup at Olive Garden, and we would go with no money, and we'd go eat the salad and breadsticks for free, right? Give us a story of how you kind of got through and got free food, and like how did that work out for you?
How did you end up getting free meals?
How did you end up getting free food? Because we never saw you at Olive Garden.
Well, I ate at the cafeteria, and we got our lunch card, right? But I never had to use it.
Why?
Why is that, Michelle?
Why is that?
I never had to use it.
I think Michelle would let me use hers because she never had to use her.
So
she never had to use it. I think Michelle. I remember you and Buffy kind of hooking me up a lot.
Yep.
With your
Buffy
meal
and I both. Either one of us had to use our cards. Always had. We had the hookup. And at the end of the year, all this money was left on your card. So that's when the boys team would come in sometimes, and we'd be like, use our card, go through.
Yep.
We don't care, because we never had to pay.
Buffy let me use her card every once in a while. Yeah.
Poor G wasn't on scholarship. Well, let's get this kid. Let's support him, for adopt him for $10 a day. I like that, Michelle, man. You were always really nice. But did you all ever, you and a teammate, or did you all ever have to play for free meals or anything like that?
Yeah, so it's funny you asked that. Angela and I, she was part of the
Angela Casas?
Angela Casas. She was part of the
Shout out to Angela.
The medical. Yeah, shout out to Angela. We still hang out. Actually, we're gonna go to Mexico, I think, in September, October.
Well,
September.
share the link of the show. We'll get Angela on. Like, we need
to
get
I'll tell her about it.
And we'll also go to Mexico with y'all if y'all will have
if you want us to go to Mexico. We'll
we just can't. Angela and I were in Spain, Barcelona in March, and then we're going to go hang out. We went to the Adele concert. If you guys have never been to Adele's concert, definitely recommend that. It's hot. But Angela and I, getting back to the subject, Angela and I, she and I would play for food, and we never lost.
Wow. That's amazing.
But I mean, we played like it was no blood, no foul. Like, we only played the guys because they had the money.
The guy, yeah. You know what? Again, the story of survival, the story of struggle.
That's it.
You got to do what you got to do. You play guys.
You want to go out to eat this weekend? Yeah.
You're not going to get in between me and this meal. Like,
let's play.
And we wouldn't pick any like Olive Garden. We went to like the Top Dots.
That's why we never saw her, G.
Yeah, that's right, Michelle.
We had it all wrong, man. We were doing it all wrong. We should have been playing.
We thought it was an Italian gourmet place, which was
5 stars for us. That Wolfgang Puck should have been cooking it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So Michelle, along with this food thing, and I know before Matt steals my question, I love asking guests where their favorite place was to go and get some grub during the Pan Am days, because the Valley, man, it's the Valley. We're known for our places, our restaurants, our food. So what was your go-to?
So is this with a car or without a car?
Is this no? Is this both. Hold on, G? Is this her paying for it or not her paying for it?
Am I paying?
Okay, yeah, that what that does. We can categorize the. So
apparently, Michelle ate for free for 4 years. Like,
never used her meal card. Didn't need a scholarship, man. No wonder I ate, and guys like me ate because they were sharing. Their meal
just
card.
In general, Michelle, where was your favorite spot to eat?
In general, oh man, there was a couple taco spots on. I can't even remember the name of them. But Whataburger, we had to hook up there. We had to hook up at
Shout out to Waterberg. They had to hook up at every one of these.
Yeah, we had to hook up there. We had to hook up at Pizza Hut. Yeah.
Whataburger, Pizza Hut.
Whataburger,
Maybe we can
Pizza
get
Hut.
like sponsorships or something, you know.
I mean, closed mouths don't get fed, G. You just got to go out there and say, look, we're going to shout you
That's
out.
right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Oh, you were on that whole marketing thing. Imagine
Way
how much
back.
money Michelle would have made in some NIL money. Like,
Oh, she'd be a millionaire.
I definitely would have a nice little chunk of change.
yeah.
You'd be retired already. Sitting in the sand, doing saddle up,
Right.
somewhere in the Bahamas.
Let me log on to this podcast.
Let me see if I have some time. Let me check my schedule.
Yeah.
It's
Nothing
beat
today.
Oh, yeah. So Pizza Hut. I remember Pizza Hut. And now I don't know. You say you go back once a year, but I don't know if you've been lately. But the last time I was in that Pizza Hut, they have like a shrine to like
Yeah, they do.
the sports.
Really?
It's like they've got like jerseys and old pictures, and it's
Oh,
pretty,
wow.
it's pretty rad. That they've kind of like I guess not accepted, but just kind of like embraced the university like they have the athletic.
There's a lot of money. That was our, with pregame meal or postgame meal too.
Right, that was our postgame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to Raheem Mohammed that you could not touch the cheese pizza. That was his cheese pizza. Like,
let me tell you,
anybody, I remember one game that Raheem wanted to fight because somebody accidentally took the cheese pizza, and he was like, "That's mine."
Crazy that obviously I ride the bench most of the time, but for some reason I'd get really hungry cheering during the games, and I'd be looking for that. I'd be looking forward to that pizza, man.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Gee,
I don't know
you
what
were
that
a good
was all
sport,
about.
though, because even though you had this, that had to be hard. You had the skills. You could play. You saw games going down, and you're like, I can put this 3 in here. Just put me in the game, coach. And nobody, it's like I'm screaming out loud. But even through all of that, you still. That's another sign of perseverance. You showed up every game. You played in every. I mean, I would see you out there in practices, going, and you always came back out, and you were always put together.
Yeah.
You never wavered. You never showed your disgust, if you will.
Yeah. And I appreciate that, Michelle. I really did. And I don't think I saw the floor until my 3rd year. So my first and second year that I was there, never. I mean,
but
basically just practiced.
We saw it, we were like, gee.
Yeah. I was excited, man. And
throw up
when
our
I
hands,
started,
we know it's going to be a 3 going down.
Yeah.
That's awesome, Michelle.
Like I said, G, you're one of my favorite players, and
I think I'm turning red, man.
It goes back to what Michelle said. Like, I don't know if I could have done that. Like, gone 2 years, just practicing every day and just committing myself to the grind, and not getting that reward of actually playing in the game. So,
yeah, and I think, and we just talked to, John Simmons is one of the football director of operations there. We just mentioned that we were having a conversation with him, and Michelle, it's about the people. It was like people like you, people like Buffy, all wonderful people, man. Matt, I mean, all my friends there, that they made it worth a while to be a part of a program, and there was always an end. There was always a means to an end, right? There was always, I may not be playing right now, but man, I always had that passion to coach. And so I knew that if I could just be a player and somehow have that pathway into coaching, that's what kind of motivated me every day to go through those practices. And so it was the people and the journey, my goal at the end of the day, where I wanted to go, where I wanted to be, and the people around me that were pushing me and motivating me, man. And you all don't understand how much of an influence you all had, just being that person every day, I mean, you all got me up in the morning. I mean, it wasn't the games that got me motivated. it was the people that I got to hang out with, on a daily basis.
To show you have to surround yourself. Now that's something we need to teach the future generations to surround yourself with people that lift you. You know what I mean?
That's right.
I always tell people now, I said, I don't hang around people. I always hang around people that are smarter than I am, because there's something I
right.
need to learn from them. And if you're hanging around people and you're the smartest one in the group, check your group.
Yeah.
That's right.
I say that
Like,
all the time. You're
yeah.
exactly right. You should never
Yeah.
be the smartest person in the room.
Ever.
Because if you are, you're the dumbest one.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
So Michelle, what do you like? What do you like to do for fun? What are your, some hobbies that you like? Right now, you mentioned that. When's the last time you picked up a basketball, Michelle?
That has been a long time ago. Besides, oh man, I'm sitting over here with the. Oh man, I haven't picked up a basketball. Gee, man. Yeah.
We don't have to say the
No,
acronym.
you know what? It's been years.
Years. Okay.
No,
Do
I
you
take
think-
that back. I picked up one to put it up. Yeah.
Do you think if you went out right now, like
Yeah,
all
you
the
could-
hooping that you did as a young woman, as a teenager, as a collegiate athlete, do you think that if you went out to the court right now and you just picked up the ball and just went to go shoot and not play, but just to go shoot, do you think it would all come back to you like riding a bike?
Of course. I think that's a foundation that you have. And as long as you have those basics, it's not going to change. I mean, you're going to always have that knack. I go to watch my nephews play now, and it's the smell of the court. It's the shoes on the court. It's the smell of the gym, the shoes squeaking. It's the doors slamming. It's the sweat. I mean, it's you get so, I went to a game for one of my nephews in December. And he was like, "Oh God, Auntie, right?" And I'm that one, I was a cheerleader on our bench and with the girls. I was just like, "Let's get him," and I was yelling so much that they were down by like 20 points and it came back to about 5 points. And like, guys, come on. I knew no kid name, and I would turn in the crowd, goes, "Who was that kid just scored?" And they were like, "Oh, that was Tom." And I'm like, like change the name. You're like, yeah. But
Auntie Michelle was on fire that game. Look at her.
Yeah, I believe that the fans, like we mentioned, the Von Indies, they're very pivotal. And everyone that has ever touched, every athlete that's ever touched the grounds of UTPA or UTRGV, they've played a pivotal role. No matter if we were losing, we were winning, you were hurt, you were sad, you were happy. They were always there, and they were always there with the smile. And that right there, you can't, it's a support. If you have the support, you just talked about it, the support of your teammates. Everybody got you on the floor and got you going to go to that practice the next day, because you knew at practice, I may not even get a chance to get on the court. Chances are I'm not, but one day I will.
Yeah.
It's a support.
It is the support. Yeah, Michelle, thank you. I know that you,
I think you're making G cry. Like he's getting all flustered. Look at him.
I'm really flustered right now because Michelle's had most impact on me than anybody else on this show. Okay. But I'd love to hear kind of what, I know that the La Tech was your most like competitive, motivating game, but what was your favorite game like that you can remember that you can share with the listeners?
Favorite game. We had one game. I wouldn't say it was a favorite game, but it was the most memorable one. We were in I think we were in Western Kentucky. We were in this tournament. You know how they play the tournaments that you're not going to win, but they give the school money for it, right? We were in one of those tournaments.
Guaranteed games,
Guaranteed games,
right? Yeah. And I remember, I don't know if you remember Bobby Cole Ramirez now, but
yes.
Bobby was the only one that was getting the ball down the court, and I was the only one able to score because they had shut down everybody. So I'm scoring. Every time I go down, I'm scoring. I finally tell Bobby, "Stop giving it to me. Give it to somebody else." She goes, "You're the only one scoring." And the score was like 14-50. I mean, it was crazy.
Michelle had 12 points out of those 14.
Oh man, I think that was one of the most memorable ones, because it was just like, man, let's share this wealth. And they were like,
Can you name a favorite teammate? You named a favorite roommate, but out of your
Oh,
4
yeah.
years playing?
You know, that's hard because everyone, oh man. So I'll tell you my favorite teammate that I had that would work out with me. I always had to do extra workouts. And even if it was like, you know, we would go out to Mexico on a Friday night if we didn't have, but we had practice Saturday morning.
We never went to Mexico, Michelle. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't think we went there. I
I'm
think my parents, if our parents are listening, Matt and I, they still don't know we went to Mexico in college.
Oh,
Mom,
so,
Mom,
Matt,
I never went to Mexico, Mom. My mom
Matt,
gives
I
me a
met your
report
mom, and
every
she was-
Saturday. I've shared it with
Yeah.
G. Like, she literally texts me Saturday morning and gives me a critique of the episode. Like, hey, this
Yeah.
was a really great
Yeah,
guest.
we never
So,
we never
Mom, I
went
never
to
went to Mexico. But go ahead,
Right.
Michelle.
Michelle did though.
They didn't go to Mexico. But we would party hard, right? I was always the designated driver, but these girls would get in like late, and Kelly Garrett would
Kelly Garrett.
always, if I had to run, 16 laps, if the whole team had to run 16 laps around the track, we were on the track before the track team, and we got off after they finished too.
Yeah.
If I had, Kelly would finish her running and come back and do the extra I had to do every single time. Kelly did that.
Wow.
And swim practices, if I had to stay out do another 10 minutes or so, Kelly would finish with hers and come back in the pool and do another 10 minutes. I mean, she always,
That's awesome.
Kelly was that person that always completed it. And there were a lot of teammates that, Michelle, you got it or whatever, but Kelly was the one that would get back in there and do it with you every single time.
Wow.
So yeah.
Shout out
She's
to
an
Kelly,
amazing
man. We got to get
person.
her.
We're gonna get her on. She's on the list of people to get, but yeah, Kelly
Yeah.
just has
So Michelle,
that-
Michelle, you were
that
on
heart.
before Kelly, by the way.
Yeah, you
Oh.
did come on. Yeah.
But KG is still my girly girl.
Oh yeah,
I know,
she's awesome.
but still,
Yeah.
She's
you
awesome.
were still on before her.
Kelly, I was first.
I love it. I love it. So Michelle, what you thank you so much for answering some of these questions, but I do have a couple of questions, like just silly questions outside.
Okay, give me some silly questions.
Your favorite song on your playlist right now?
Ooh.
Ooh.
Before you answer that, have you heard that the Saddle Up
Oh, man.
podcast has an official playlist on Spotify?
I
Yeah.
have not heard that.
I will send you the link, and
Yeah.
you can
Okay.
subscribe.
Yeah.
But what's Spotify? Ha, got you.
Ooh. Yeah. See, I told him iTunes would be better, Matt. Hey, so
Go ahead.
So we
Playlist.
got to do two categories, Michelle. What's on your what's on your Walkman? Because it was probably a Walkman or whatever.
Discman, yeah.
In 94, 95, shooting around before game time. And then what's on your playlist now? So it's two different eras. So your favorite song on both eras.
So I was a Queen Latifah,
Oh, wow.
MC Light type of girl before a game.
Mhm.
I needed the heart.
UNITY. UNITY. That's a unity. UNITY. That's going to be added to the official soundtrack playlist
Yeah.
on Spotify.
Let me think. And now, so you're probably, I guess I'm kind of dating myself. So I downloaded on iTunes.
Mhm. Thank you.
You got to create another list,
G's got the iTunes, so he can create the list over there. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
G, you got to
I will.
create that.
I'll do
But
it.
I'm now into I hate to say this, like the R&B with no words, just the music. Back in the day, the 90s R&B, the instrumentals. Like
Wow.
I'm into that.
You're there.
Yeah, I'm there.
Yeah.
Yes.
I guess you didn't. And that's why I was like, you could have asked me something else, but
You just,
No, I
you-
like that.
You just want the music. You don't want the words. You don't want
Yeah.
the whole like.
Can
Yeah.
you freestyle to it, Michelle, or
some
is
of
that
it.
out of the question? Yeah. We're gonna have to get a little excerpt on that and then just post
Oh.
it.
You're gonna have to
Right
send me a
underneath.
link of what you're listening to. I'm gonna add it, and that's gonna be your snippet for your little teaser. Yeah.
Your little intro.
Yeah.
No.
And then, of course,
like that.
you listen to I love listening to stuff in like back in the day music that we had back, DMX. He always
Oh,
in my ear. If I'm going for a walk outside, we have a nice trail in front of my yard, and
mm,
DMX is really like he just
yeah,
keeps going. And if you walk to his beat, you're before you know it, you're walking like
yeah. You're
Keep
gone.
going. Yeah.
yeah. You're like, oh,
DMX.
4 miles
Okay.
in. Okay. All right, let's do this.
What superhero power would you have if you could choose one?
These are the questions I ask people on road trips. Let's see.
21 questions.
And they're really cool too. If I could, I would be invisible.
Hmm. Main reason why?
Invisible because I would like to come back and either invisible or I don't want to hear everything at all. But invisible to like if somebody says, man, I don't want to wash those dishes, right? And then I would seriously wash those dishes and have them done. That mother that comes home and says, oh, I wish somebody would just fold these clothes. And then I would
Wow.
close and say your wish came true.
You
And
have that aura about you.
Yes,
you have that
yes,
motherly
you do.
quality of
You
like,
do.
I'm gonna make
Mm.
everything okay. Like,
you
yeah,
know, that goes into like so now with my agency, I have became a master resiliency instructor. So we definitely teach resiliency skills,
Yeah.
coping skills. We dealing with morale, wellness, and resiliency. And here lately,
so like a
suicide-
counselor.
this is part of the counseling.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
part of the and also dealing with suicide prevention, because suicide amongst law enforcement officers, now law enforcement, but amongst law enforcement officers has risen quite a bit. And
Yeah.
we're trying to let people know, let's have that talk. Let me call up if G comes on here and he's normally smiling and all of a sudden you see him not smiling or he's not
Yeah.
answering calls or texts. Hey, pick up. Hey, are you okay?
Yeah.
Do you want to kill yourself? And so
Yeah.
shout out to the people that help those people, because it's a lot of people. I call it suffering in silence. So if you're suffering in silence, I tell people, call me, pick up the phone. I will cheer you up.
Yes, and you have that quality, and
You definitely do, Michelle.
I've shared this with
Definitely
G, but my son who plays college basketball, he called me a couple months ago, like in November, and was like, Dad, when you were playing, did you ever have anxiety attacks or panic attacks or stress or whatever? And I relayed to him, like, how do you answer that question? And then I was like, Evan, back when we played, it was not a hot topic. Like it wasn't it was like, I knew I was going through it. G was probably going through it. Michelle was probably going through it. Buffy was probably going through it. So it was just kind of a thing. It was a norm. So it was just like, you just keep pressing through and you'll get through it. Right. So kudos to now having the outlets to have people to talk to, because we
Because it
found
was
outlets
taboo
for
with
Evan to
us,
talk to.
It was taboo to talk about it amongst in our generation, because our parents, they were like, oh, I'm feeling depressed. It's because you've been in this room watching TV all day. Get outside and go get some fresh air. And you're like,
Yeah. Because you're not doing anything. If you're bored,
Right.
you're gonna think about it. If you're not bored, you
bored,
won't be
clean up your
depressed.
room. Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, but now think about what we grew up in and what they're growing up in. We didn't have gun violence. Come on. Shootings at school, clear backpacks, leave your books here.
Social media bullying. We didn't have social media. Like social media now, the bully will follow you and they will tweet something or they'll post something and it will.
And it never goes away.
24/7. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Well, Michelle, you're doing God's work. You're doing God's work.
Yeah. You are an amazing person, Michelle. Thank you
Well, you
so
guys
much
are
for
too.
joining
And this is
the show.
great, you guys putting this together. I mean, because we need a forum like this, some type of platform to bring back the old school, bring the new school together, and just have those talks, like, things that this helps bring up. Like, it's not a bad memory, but it says, hey, you know what? The reason why I'm here today is because of the things I went through. It was a foundation, right? So the reason why you both are as successful as you are is because of what you went through.
Yeah,
and
that's right.
I'm not here today without G or without Michelle. or
Yeah.
Mike Thompson or
Right.
Ivano Starcevich or Buffy
Yeah.
or,
All
whoever.
those people, man, that made us,
Right.
we thought our best friends were in middle school. We
Yeah.
thought, we were just heartbroken when they went to another high school or when they went to another college. And I, that's the same thing I tell my kids is that your best and closest friends, you're going to meet when you get out of here, when
Yep.
you go to college. Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
And you may have one or two that linger along when high school with you.
That's right.
But-
Yeah.
Yeah, but the most of them, think about it. All of us here can probably pick up the phone and call 10 people that we knew in college at Pan Am, and all 10 of them would help us if we needed something.
Exactly.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right.
My kid
And you
doesn't
can
call. Yeah, my kid calls Uncle G for a reason.
Right.
Right. Or
And you
Uncle
can-
Mike or Uncle Brian. Like he calls
Right.
them uncle for a reason, and so
And you can add us to that list, Michelle.
yeah.
Saddle
I never
up.
took you off of it.
Oh, G's got to add you back on.
Add me back, G. Add me back.
I will. Never took you off. What are you talking about?
Oh, Michelle, you are a blessing and a light of hope. And thank you so
Likewise,
much for just being who you are and joining the
Yeah.
show. And we've been looking forward to this for some time. And thank
Yeah.
you so
Really
much.
appreciate it, Michelle. Thank you so much for being
Oh, thank
on.
you guys. It was a pleasure. And, I'm here. If you guys need anything, 988 is suicide prevention number, 981 for those that were in the military.
There you go.
Wow.
We'll make sure
There
we
you go.
post the number at the end of the credits. So thank you
Absolutely.
so much, Michelle. V's up, guys. We'll see you next week. Take care.